and I'm traveling down, don't know where to go, but I let you know. Shoot that sky till the moon explode. Now we're laying in a field right now, it's on our backs. Talk about home when we can't go back. I guess that's why.
Should've just stopped there. It's funny in the beginning. All right, let's give it up for the guy y'all came to see, Clayton. How you guys doing? I wish Alexio told me this was gonna be hip-hop comedy, but it's okay, maybe I'll freestyle for you guys afterwards or something like that. Kind of cool. All right, what are we doing first? Oh, I gotta say happy birthday to my CA, Ricky. Happy birthday, I love you. All right, so maybe some of you guys can relate to this story when you're having a conversation with someone and you say a quote from a movie, right? You think you sound really cool, but they haven't seen the movie, so this is kind of awkward. Like, I'm sure you guys all know how it feels, right? All right, so here's the story. So I'm talking to this girl, gorgeous girl, and I asked her, like, oh, no, she was telling me what she did over spring break, right? And she was like, yeah, I went to the fine city of San Diego. And I was like, oh, that's cool, you went to the whale's vagina? And she was like, excuse me? I was like, oh, nothing. And then she went on to explain that she went there to visit her uncle who works at a university and he's a scholar. And I was like, you mean like the ones that lost the translation thousands of years ago? And she was like, what? And I'm like, nothing. Oh, nothing. Go ahead, continue. So the conversation was really going downhill, right? But then I thought I got better because then she was like, yeah, when I was leaving, I turned back to the city and I said, you know what, San Diego? You stay classy. And I was like, so you have seen the movie? And she's like, what movie? And I'm like, nothing. And it was just really awkward and the conversation was terrible. I got a bad grade in that class and I totally killed my GPA. Hey, you got it. Oh, and you would have only gotten that if you had seen Anchorman. If not, you have no idea what I just said. All right, moving along. Oh, happy tax day to everyone. I don't know if you guys saw on the news that they're having these protests around this country, and they're called tea parties, like the Boston Tea Party thing. I was invited to one, and I thought about going to one, but personally, I'm more of a coffee person. Alright, that was pretty good. That was kind of bad, though. So yeah, I've always been interested in time travel. I don't know about you guys, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. So I took the obvious steps that anyone would take in achieving this goal, and that was to purchase a flux capacitor. You know, like the one in Back to the Future, right? So I'm really stoked. I get it. It comes in the box. I take out all the pieces, right? I'm really excited. I spend a month learning Chinese because that's what the instructions were in. And halfway through, I realized that all I did was flip it over and the English is on the other side. I didn't care, right? I was just really excited about it. So I get it all built, and I'm all set, but there's a problem. It didn't work. I couldn't go back in time. So I get really mad, right? And I spent $295 on this. I call up customer support. I'm like, hey, what's going on? The problem is that they only speak Japanese, but I only know Chinese and English, so I was kind of screwed out of that. So I'm like, all right, forget this. So I have to get back online on the internet, and I have to look up, try to find the real thing. Because I found the problem was, I figured out when I was filling out the box, is that I had purchased a flux capacitor replica. It wasn't the real thing. That's why it didn't work. So now I have to get back online and figure it all out. So lesson is, use your head, be smart about these things. I'm out $295 now, and I got a big piece of plastic duct taped to the back of my Honda Accord. And that really sucks. So if you guys ride skateboards or bikes around campus to get to classes, I hate you guys because pretty much every time I go out, pretty much every time I go out, I nearly get hit by one, and it scares me. Actually, one time I did get hit by one. It's really bad. I'm just walking to class, minding my own business, and it comes up and just hits me right in the legs, and I fall down, and I cut my knee and everything. I look up at the guy, like, why didn't you see me? And he just looks down, and he's like, sorry, bro, I was texting. And I'm like, but I'm bleeding. And he took off. Like, he didn't even help me up or anything like that. He just took off. And I was like, it sucks. But then I was thinking about, like, would the same thing happen if we were driving instead of walking or riding a bike? So I can just imagine it, right? I'm there driving my car, minding my own business, and and all of a sudden, this guy cuts across 4 lanes of traffic, slams into me, pins me up against the wall, and it's really bad. And he gets out, comes up to the car, and I have this massive head wound, and I'm just like unconscious. I'm like, oh, and he's just like, sorry, bro, I was texting. I didn't see the stop sign back there, and I didn't see the fast-moving objects, and I cut across 4 lanes of traffic. You gotta admit, that's pretty impressive that I made it across 4 lanes without getting hit. You just have really bad luck, right? And I hit you at the end. Like, it's kind of your fault. And I'm just like, I'm bleeding! So I get out of the car, and we're waiting for the ambulance to arrive. And I see it coming down the street, right? And it's coming, and then all of a sudden it kind of starts swerving, and then it hits my car. It hits the back of my car, the ambulance does. And I'm like, what's going on? And the guy jumps out, the driver, and he comes up to me, and he's like, hey bro, I'm sorry, dude. I was sexting my girlfriend and kind of wrecked the car. And I just look at him, and I'm like, I'm bleeding! Okay, so tattoos are cool. Anyone here have a tattoo? Yeah, nice. Yeah, they're way cool. I brought up the idea of getting a tattoo to my parents, and they immediately shot it down. I don't know, they gave me a bunch of parental crap or something like that. I didn't listen though, I got a tattoo. And I would show you guys, but it would take this show from PG-13 to NC-17 real quick, so we're not gonna do that. Don't worry, Lexia, I'm not gonna do that. And so I got it, but I really regret getting it though. It hurt a lot. And it didn't really turn out right. I guess doing it yourself isn't really the same thing as getting it done at a parlor. Once again, buying something off the internet, not always a good idea. So it was pretty bad, but I just kind of sucked it up. But people have, tattoos are fun to talk about, and they're great icebreakers, especially if you're trying to talk to chicks or something like that. It's like, hey, I like your tattoo, right? Well, the girls, sometimes they get the tattoo right here, right above their belt, their waistband, and so a little bit's sticking out. So I'll be like, hey, you got a tattoo, way cool. And she'd be like, oh, thank you. And then she'd begin to pull down her pants to show me the rest of the tattoo, which, while it's extremely hot, kind of awkward when your mom is right next to you at the checkout aisle at Safeway. That's the best thing. But people have crazy meanings about tattoos. They get really into it, too deep. And I was at this music store once talking to this dude, and just to give you guys an image of what he looked like, he's got tattoos on his arms, he's got on his legs, his neck. He even had the little one that the girls get down here. He even had that one. And my mom wasn't there, but it still was really awkward when he showed it to me there. It was really bad. But, so he's like, hey dude, you wanna see something cool? I'm like, yeah, sure dude. So he lifts up his shirt, right? And it's just chest hair and everything, but there's this tattoo right on his chest, and it was the weirdest thing in the world. It's an eagle holding a sword that's on fire, and the sword is stabbing a tiger. It was terrible. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to try to be polite. And he's like, this represents love between me and my wife. I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, this is how I'm gonna love my wife one day. And I was like, but it's an eagle stabbing a tiger. He's like, yes, it's a metaphor. Like, oh, are you the eagle or are you the tiger? He's like, I'm neither of them. I'm the sword and my wife is the eagle, or the wife is the tiger. I was like, whoa! All right, conversation over. All right, guys, that's all I got. Thank you. God bless. See you next time.